Hey guys, it's Malonb or Malonb from Facebook or malonshop.com. I'm here to make a tutorial for one of Lion Brand's free patterns. It is for this cute little envelope. You can find it on their website, lionbrand.com, or I will also have a link below. You can also find it via Ravelry, of course. And I am making this tutorial with Lion Brand's permission. This is a final product I made exactly with the yarn specified and also with a hook that they specify there as well. It's about this size. I included the little heart that's also in the tutorial. It's also in the pattern, and this is how you put it together. You would put the heart in the front. That way you can put the top in and it will hold it back, or you can also do it the other way around, like this. This is actually the one I'm making in the tutorial, and I just ended up with different colors because I was using up stashed yarn. But this one I put the heart on the top. I think it looks a little bit cuter, but that's my preference. It's just up to you guys and whatever you want to do. Again, the pattern or the tutorial both do include the actual envelope and the little heart. And also the pattern itself, the concept is really easy. You just crochet a square, fold it up into an envelope shape, and sew up the seams. So I made a tiny one just to try it out and to show you guys that you can make it in any size. As long as it's a square, it will fold up to the envelope shape and it will work for you. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it's easy to understand, and leave any comments or questions. Thanks, bye. Hey guys, I'm going to be using this color yarn. It is worsted weight. This specific one is Red Heart Soft. I forgot the color name, but obviously you can use any color and any type of yarn. I am using a 4mm hook. That is what is recommended by the pattern. This would be size G or size 6, so depending on what you go by. But I'm using a 4mm hook, again as recommended by the pattern. So let's just begin. The only tip I have in the beginning is leave a long tail. I have made some of this before, and I would suggest leaving a long tail because that gives you something to sew up the seam with. That way you don't have to go and add more yarn. You already have that in there. I would leave around 6 inches or so, just depending how big your piece is going to be. But let's begin via the pattern. We want to chain 26, so let me do that. And the whole pattern is just single crochet, so that's pretty easy, pretty beginner. And you start a single crochet row by doing a single crochet on the second loop from the hook. So just start doing the single crochets, and once you finish this row, you should end up with 25 stitches. So let me just finish that. Let me single crochet down the road. Again, you should end up with 25 if you're going by the pattern. Okay, I finished the row, and I do have 25 stitches here, 25 single crochet stitches. And now what I will do at the end is I will chain 1 and turn, and then start my next row, which would be single crochet in the first stitch. And I will just keep going down that road until it's complete. Okay, my second row is complete. Again, I'm going to just chain one, turn and start doing a single crochets from my first stitch here. And that's all the pattern is. Just keep going back and forth until you end up with a square. Now the pattern itself doesn't tell you how many rows to do. It just tells you a measurement of approximately, let's see, it tells you to go on until you reach approximately 6.5 inches, but honestly that just depends on your gauge and what type of yarn and what size hook you're using. Let me come back when I have about enough rows and I'll show you guys how to do an easy measurement for that. Okay, so I have finished my piece. It looks like this. I found that for me 26 rows was the magic number and a really easy way to see if you got a square piece or not is just fold it diagonally, and if it makes a pretty even triangle, as you can see the sides here is pretty even, no overlapping of either side, either the bottom or the top. If it makes a pretty even triangle, that probably means you have a pretty good square, and I think I do. And I'm sorry about the color changes, but I was using up my scraps and I ran out twice, so I am ending with the white color. Since I'm fine with the size of my square, I'm going to trim here, and I'm going to leave again a tail long enough to sew up the seam. So let me just cut that here. I would say approximately 6 inches, but you can do as long as you want. And let me pull it through once. So now via the pattern, what you will do, and keep in mind, as you can see, I told you guys to leave a tail in the beginning, so we have one tail here and one tail here. So what you want to do is bring those two tips together, like so. Be like that, and it depends what side you want to go up. Let me just pull up this side. As you can see, that's the shape of the envelope, and this would be the top that comes down. So you have two seams to sew up here. This white one obviously here, which you can do with your white tail, and this side here, which you can do with the tail you had in the beginning. That's why I recommended leaving a tail. It just makes it so much easier rather than adding yarn and so forth. So let me sew those up. Let me do the white first, the white color. And you can just slip stitch it. Just slip stitch, nothing special. And I just folded it here like this, so it's easier to slip. Now I'm gonna make a knot here. And I'm just gonna slip this between my stitches here. Let me trim the tail. So we have one side here that is complete. Now I just need to make this one like this. Sew this one up here, and then the envelope would be complete, as you guys can see. I'm sorry, it's actually this side. This side I sew on this, and then this is the top, and it makes a pretty cute envelope. So let me just finish sewing this one up. Alright, and we finished sewing up our envelope. It looks like this, and this would be the top, and it's pretty cute, right? This is our envelope. Now let me show you how to do the heart. That is also in the pattern, and the heart would go on here again via the pattern. Let me show you how to do that. So we're going to make the heart from this pattern. I'm using some scrap yarn in pink. This is just Red Heart Super Saver, and I'm using the same hook I used for the envelope. So we're going to chain 4. I don't know if that's going to focus or not, but we're chaining 4. 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the second chain from the hook. So we're doing 2 double crochets. That's 1, and that's 2. In the next chain, we're going to do one half double crochet. In the last chain there, we're going to do 3 single crochets in that one. And this is the bottom of the heart. As you can see, there's 2 sides of the chain. We have worked on one side of the chain, the other chain is still empty, or there's nothing here, as you can see. So we're gonna turn at the end there. And what I like to do is do 2 single crochets on one side, on this side, and then do 1 on the other. That way we can make the turn and go back up the other side. So we're going to do 2 single crochets here, and then we go on the other side of the chain and do 1 single crochet. That gives us 3 single crochets in that last chain. And now working our way back up to the top of the heart, we're going to do one half double crochet in the next chain. And in the last chain that is the top, we're going to do 2 double crochets and a slip stitch just to finish it off. 1 and 2. Well, actually, I think I didn't do it on the side of the chain. Actually, let me just fix that. Okay, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and a slip stitch. And that is our heart. Let me just cut off and weave in the end. Oh, actually, I would suggest leaving a long tail, especially if you're going to be sewing this on to anything else. So let me just leave maybe like 6 inches or so. Then we can weave it in. I'm going to pull it through, pull tightly. And this is your heart, guys. You can adjust it as you please, of course. Let me weave in the long tail. I like to weave it in through the bottom, and through the back, so it exits from the bottom. That way it'll be easier to sew on to your envelope if you want to do that. Let's see. Okay, that will be my tail to sew it in. And you can just trim, or actually let me weave in the tail that we started with, the start of the chain has. Let me weave that in before trimming it as well, at least a little bit. Oh, it didn't go. Alright, so this is your heart. Again, you can adjust it as you please. This is what it looks like. and you can sew this on to your envelope. Thanks for watching, guys.